All right, so to start taking the seats out of this Camaro, we're gonna start with the back here, which we've already kind of gone ahead and done a thing. But to pop it out, to get it to lay down, you're gonna pull this tab here and it'll lay down. And then we already got this side out, so I'm just gonna show you all this side. When you do lay it down, you'll see that on the sides there are these slots, and they look like this. So just look for those, and you'll see that it's connected in there like that. So you're gonna want to pull it up and try and get it out of there. It might take a bit of force. So I found this to be the best kind of grip to get it, personally. You're gonna have to really yank it out of there. All right, so to get the bottoms out, we already got that side, but you're gonna wanna get a pry bar tool, just anything with a flat end. And you're gonna wanna get it lodged underneath the center part of the seat. And we couldn't really see anything, but if you can lift the seat up from, down here and look down there, try and find a latch of some kind. It might be white, or it's just a metal U-shape type deal that's inside of a latch like that. So if you can see that, then pry up on that. But if you can't, try and get it somewhere right here in the middle of the seat. All right, so that one can be a little bit difficult. And you can see how that one we got the white thing, and this one we didn't get the white thing. So I don't know, if you get it or you don't, it really doesn't matter, because you're going to be covering it anyways. So that's how you get the rear seats out, and it can be really annoying. All right, so after you've pulled up these two here, we're going to get the whole thing pulled out, but you need to get the seat belts pushed through the holes that they're in. And try to pull it out from there. And there we go. Once they're out of the seat belts, then you can just pull it out of there once you get the seat belt out of the way. I'm going to show you something that does sometimes happen by itself when you're pulling up the bottom of the seats, and it's with these white little clip hole things right here. So yeah, they come up sometimes when the seat comes up, but I'm just going to show you what to do when they don't come up. So you're going to want to grab a flathead screwdriver, preferably, and you're going to want to go in on both sides of it and hold the other side and just kind of pry up, try to pry it around a little bit until, just keep trying to work it up and go back and forth between either side doing that until you get this little tab on the side out. It's kind of hard to see, so. But when you do get that tab out of there, it's like right there, that little tab. When you get that out of there, you're pretty much just home free to pull it out. So you can just yank it out of there now, and there you go. White part is out. All right, so the first part of this install is gonna be to put these L brackets on these screws right here. And you're gonna put them on this hole, the innermost hole, and then you're gonna put these nylock nuts over the threads when you get those on there. And it's a very tight hole, so you will probably have to like screw the L bracket on there. So so with the L bracket, you're gonna make sure that when you get it on there that it goes on smoothly. Don't try to force it on there because you don't want to cross thread it. So it should be easy to screw it on there. But now we're gonna put the silver nylock nut on that bolt there. That goes to nothing. And whenever you get this on there to the point where you need a ratchet, use a 10mm deep drive, or if you don't have a deep drive, just use a regular 10mm and just move over to the wrench afterwards. All right, so even with the deep drive, it starts to get a bit too tall for the socket. So we're gonna tighten this down all the way, but whenever you do tighten it, make sure that this is flat so that the seat delete can lay on top of it. Alright, so once this is tightened, make sure that it, make sure that it is straight up. And you can use the lines of the car right here to actually help out a bit with making sure it's straight. And then after that, we're gonna come over here to this massive red wire, and you can push it up to kind of hide it. So, but we'll also be including some carpet that you can use to cover that hole up right there. And that hole up right there. Alright, so to start with the whole install process of the bottom, and just so y'all know, the center console will go right here. So this side is facing the front of the car. But we got these spacers right here that you're gonna need to stack. I believe it is 6 of them, yeah. So 6 on one, 6 on the other, but you're gonna have to mismatch them until they are the same height whenever they're stacked up like that. So once you do that, we will grab the black bolt and slide it through this hole right here, or either hole, and either hole in the front, not back there. So you'll put that bolt through one of the front holes, and then stick the spacer, or stick the bolt through all the spacers. So it's like that. And then you will take this wing nut, and you'll have to install it to where the wings close upwards like that onto the bolt. Alright, so once you've screwed on the wing nut, you just have to make sure that it's barely hanging in there, at least for now. So even this is too much, so you'll want to back it out just a bit until it's got like that, like just barely a thread hanging out from the bottom. So now we're gonna do that same thing for the other side, and then get the bottom put in the car. To get the bottom in the car, you're gonna want to be very careful of the bolts and wing nuts that we applied earlier. So just, if you need to, just cover them up like that when you get that first side in there, because it's gonna get a little awkward and you don't want to have it scratch your car. So we are gonna get this in there, and just be careful not to scratch the plastic. I'm sure that goes without saying, but yeah. To get this bottom fully in there, you're gonna want to make sure that the corners of this part that goes around the center console are above the carpet, but under this on both sides, and also make sure that that side over there is above the carpet. But yeah, above the carpet, but under this on both sides. Just make sure it's like that on both sides. Now we're gonna slide this back so that it can fully wrap around the center console part here. But whenever you do start pulling it forward, make sure that these bolts are up and not stuck on anything, as you'll definitely feel that they're stuck on something. So just make sure they're up and out of the way of anything that it might slide on top of. So we are going to move this forward. So sometimes you'll need to push down in the middle and pick up back here just so it can kind of curve a bit if you need to, for it to slide easier in there. And you're also going to need to get these sides underneath that side plastic to get that good fitment. So you're going to want to pick up the middle and bend these sides down, and then you'll get it right underneath there, and then it'll be looking very nice, fitting in place. Just make sure that the back edge of the seat delete's not hung up on the metal lip on either side, and start adjusting the seat delete to line up with these two holes here. So we're just gonna move it around a bit until it gets lined up properly so that we can get those bolted down. And use these two smaller push pins for those holes in the back. So we're just gonna pop those in real quick, like so. All right, and there you go. All right, so whenever you're installing the bolts and wing nuts, just make sure that the actual wings of the wing nuts are facing the front and back of the car before you put them in, just to make sure that the wings will extend out in the hole. All right, so to actually put this whole thing in the hole, make sure that the bolt is flat to the top and that you're holding up the spacers and just guiding the wing nuts into the hole. All right, now that all that is lined up, you're just gonna wanna make sure that it's actually in the hole. So you're gonna wanna push it down until you hear it click, and then just lift up on this to double check that it is actually in the hole. And then you can go straight to tightening it with a 5/32 hex bit. 5/32. To get the back in here, you're gonna want to fix these the left and right carpet pieces, and if they're not underneath this plastic piece here, just lift the plastic piece up and push this top piece of the carpet up in there, and make sure that these two holes are lined up with the holes underneath them, because we're going to be doing those holes first before anything, because if you do anything else, it's not going to work. Now we're just gonna gently hang it up here on this little latch in the back, and emphasis on gently so you don't scratch anything. And then you're gonna use one of the larger sized push pins and put it in just this hole for right now, just one of the holes. And then you're gonna wanna come over here, and what you can do is make sure that, like, if it's not lined up, you can still correct that by putting your hand here in the middle, pulling it up like that, and then adjusting it as you need to, so that when you do get it adjusted, you can easily get that push pin up in there. The last steps to installing the seat delete, but not the last step of the install, you're going to want to use these 4 push pins to finally hold in the back here, along with this EMP logo clip to put in here. So first we're going to do the 4 push pins. Very easy to do. And then now we're going to just slap this in where it needs to be. Right there. And just push it back a bit to make sure it's holding it to the car. And if it moves, make sure you push the push pins in as well. Now we're gonna take this piece of carpet and stuff it up in these little, what used to hold the bottom part of the seats down, until it looks like that over there. Looks nice and uniform, and just kind of keep the color out of being back here. But you're going to want to start with shoving it up into the front part that faces the front of the car, and then next you're going to want to try and stuff it up there, up at the top. And then back here is a little tight, a little difficult to stuff the carpet back there, so you're going to want to use something like this, or maybe a like flathead screwdriver or something to just kind of pry it a little bit and stuff it back there. And you know, it's up to you if you want to make it look uniform and try stuffing it down into this little U shape here, but yeah. All right, so now we're gonna put this 5x10 carpet piece there on the passenger side. There's a little slot right there that, you know, we just prefer to cover up, make it look a bit nicer back here. But you can do this before or after these bolts right here are tightened. Might be a bit easier before, but you know, or even just before the bottom part of the seat delete's even in. So you can do that whenever you feel like, but that is how you do it.